Simple scales, fancy fails. One of my all-time favorite quotes from Alex Hormozy that is 100% spot on. If you get the fundamentals down in your business, the level of everything else you do will rise. Your goal should be to get savagely good at the basics and to keep it simple in your company. And when we do this, when we get savagely good at the basics, we can confidently answer why prospects should choose us over any other service provider. And on today's episode of We Do the Work, we are going to be focusing on the fundamentals, and I'm going to give you a 4-step process to get savagely good at the basics. My name's Cris Rodriguez. I've founded and exited a company, and I am currently the founder and CEO of GrowPro Agency, a multi-7-figure agency. I also help consult other 7- and 8-figure businesses, and this is We Do the Work. We Do the Work is dedicated to those who believe in the tenacious pursuit of their dreams. In a world where we aim to turn ceilings into floors, we dive deep into the essence of health, wealth, and relationships, uncovering that true fulfillment lies not in our achievements, but in the journey of us doing the work. After working with thousands of business owners over the last 12 years of my entrepreneurial journey, I find that there are a few frustrations that consistently pop up for entrepreneurs. The first one is that they're not really sure what exactly it is that they should be focusing on, so they try to focus on everything, and things start slipping through the cracks. The second frustration is that it can feel like a feast or it can feel like a famine when we're talking about leads and sales. And that can create this kind of bipolar feeling where one day we're at a high and the next day we're at a low. And the last frustration is not having consistent systems and processes, whether it's because they just don't exist in the company or it's because it's in the founder's head and it's not written down. We really need to make sure that we have a clear plan in our day-to-day activities with specific activities that are going to be occurring to help us reach our goals so that we can focus. We also want to have consistent lead flow and consistent sales, and we do that by focusing on specific activities that are going to generate that revenue. And then finally, we need to have predictable processes so that we're not stuck doing it all. There are 4 steps in laying the foundation. The first one we're going to start with is we're going to do an audit on the fundamentals in your business. The second thing that we've got to do is get very clear on the activities that ultimately drive results. The third is setting ourselves up for success in our day-to-day. And then finally, clarifying what does the daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly revenue generating activities look like, and how can we calendarize that to ensure that it gets done. Revenue isn't a goal. Revenue is a consequence of your actions or lack thereof. Step number 1, the Foundations Audit. So we are going to look at 10 foundational items that every business must have in place. And as I go through each one of these, I want you to assess yourself with a simple yes or no on whether or not you have this set up. So the first one are your personal and business social profiles updated. It's so crazy to me how often that I'll be speaking with a business owner and I check out their social media, and their social media does not showcase who they are or what they do. Their own personal social media doesn't showcase the thing that they are selling. Social media is free. It costs you absolutely nothing but your time and your energy. And you need to make sure that not just your personal profiles, but also your business profiles are updated to showcase who you are, what you do, and who you sell to. The second foundational item you have to have in place is a lead generating website. So often when I'm auditing businesses' websites, they are really just informational and all they do is talk about themselves. Your website should be able to generate you leads, and having things, very basic things such as a lead magnet or a chat widget so that your prospects can communicate with you is imperative. And you wouldn't believe how many businesses out there just don't have that. The third foundational item that a business must have is a CRM, a customer relationship management platform. It's so interesting to me that so many businesses out there aren't utilizing and leveraging the power of a CRM. They don't have a way to mass communicate with their prospects and with their clients. And they're basically using different softwares that don't even speak to each other. You need to have a streamlined CRM where not only can you communicate via email and text and phone call, but you can also charge your customers through this platform and host all of the imperative information that you need for your clients. The fourth foundational item is having your programs and pricing laid out. Choosing pricing can be very difficult, and it's not just about what you charge, it's how you charge it and also how you are communicating that to your prospects. Having your programs laid out with an actual visual is going to be a great way to help you in the sales process. Every single successful business out there, all of the most successful business models have upsells, they have upgrades, and a lot of businesses that are just getting started don't even consider implementing this into their service or their product. So you need to have your main programs laid out along with your pricing, and ideally have it in a visual format that you can showcase your prospects. And this takes us into the fifth foundational item, which is your sales process. And you should have a laid out sales process from first point of contact to the actual sale. And while I'm not a huge fan of scripts, you should absolutely have a framework that you or your sales team is using to take a prospect from awareness to consideration to purchase. And we want that process written out so that it's repeatable. The sixth foundational item your business should have is a referral program. And there's a difference between saying you have a referral program and your actual clients knowing that you have a referral program. Those are two different things. I absolutely believe in gifting your clients, whether it's cold hard cash, whether it's a physical gift, whether it's a credit to your company, gifting them something for getting the word out about the work that you do. So it's not just having a referral program, but it's also ensuring that your clients are aware of that referral program and they are referring new business to you. The seventh foundational item is having a prospecting list. You need to always be growing your list. This is marketing 101. And the list needs to include not just their name, not just their email, but also their phone number. When you set up a lead generating website properly, when you eventually start running ads, this list is going to continue to grow and grow. And utilizing things like database reactivation is going to be a great way to continue to generate appointments off of the prospecting list. But you need to have a list of people that have shown interest in what you sell so you can continue to nurture them and reach out. The eighth aspect of the foundational items that you should be doing in your business is joining some form of an association, some form of a networking group, some form of a partnership. This concept of build it and they will come does not work. You have to get out into your community, get out into your industry, attend those events, and get your name out there. So I would recommend joining at least one association or networking group, or becoming a partner with another business, or if you work with kids, becoming a partner in education with an elementary school. The ninth thing you must have in place is the minimum viable funnel for scheduling appointments after an opt-in. So when somebody requests information, whether it is through an online ad, whether it is through your website, there needs to be an automated follow-up process to get them on the calendar. We want to make this as convenient as possible for our prospects to book an appointment. And then once the appointment is booked, we need to have some form of a nurturing and confirmation sequence that goes out to the prospect to ensure that they show up. And the final fundamental aspect that you should have in your business is testimonials or case studies that are documented. Look, if you have one success story in your business, you can have 1,000 success stories. Anytime a client is giving you positive feedback on your services, this is a great opportunity for you to ask for a testimonial. Now, you can do this manually, or there are ways that you can automate it, but you constantly need to be generating Google reviews, Facebook recommendations, and getting your clients on camera telling everybody about the success that they've had with your business. So those are the 10 foundational items that every business needs to have in place. And as I went through them, some of these you're probably saying, yes, I'm good with these, and others you might not have in place, or you might have in place, but there is some room for improvement. Any of these items that you have circled no should become what I consider a rock, which is a 90-day project that you commit to getting done. Once you have the foundations laid out, step number 2 is we've got to get clear on the activities that drive results. It can be very easy to get pulled into quote unquote busy work. For the bulk of people, what is going to generate and drive results is a focus on marketing and sales. You have got to be making sure that you are filling your calendar with a vortex of activities that are ultimately going to help your bottom line. When I was first starting my company, I had a Post-it note on my computer monitor that says, "Is this a generating revenued activity?" That's how much focus that you need to be putting on your revenue generating activities. So let's unpack some of the more powerful strategies that you can implement to help you generate more leads, which will ultimately turn into much more revenue. So the first is organic social media. Are you posting? And not just on your business page. Oftentimes business pages only reach 7 to 10% of the followers, but are you leveraging your personal page, your personal account, your personal profiles, and building a personal brand? So that is the first revenue generating activity that you can do to help get more prospects. The second is focusing on your Google business profile and the search engine optimization of your website. Your Google business profile is an area that you probably have a lot of room for improvement. What most business owners do with their Google business profile is when they start their business, they set it up once and they never go back to optimize it. They're not maintaining it. And what is beautiful about optimizing your Google business profile is that it's pretty simple. You don't need to understand a lot of technical jargon in order to do this, and it can have massive results in where you show up on Google's search engine results page. The third way to generate more leads is through paid ads. And this is my own personal favorite, but I understand that that requires you to reinvest your profits back into the business. I always say in your business, you have two choices. Are you going to spend your time, your energy, and your effort, or are you going to spend your money? We see great success with Google ads, Facebook ads, and specifically setting up retargeting campaigns. The fourth way to generate activity is through email and text message marketing, whether that's through creating nurture sequence that your prospects get for the first 3, 6, 9+ months after the opt-in, whether it's database reactivation and sending out special offers depending the time of the year. Email isn't dead. Text message surely isn't dead. You need to be leveraging these on a daily basis. The next way to create more interest for prospects would be through any type of print marketing, whether that's direct mail campaigns, whether that's newsletters, whether that's billboards, if that is common in your industry. Because we are bombarded online with notifications, actually getting something physical, like doing a direct mail campaign and getting something in somebody's mailbox, can have massive returns, but you have to make sure that you are tracking the ROI of those campaigns. The next way to generate business is picking up the good old cell phone. So many businesses today are leaning so heavily on email and text, but they're not picking up the phone. I call it the trifecta. You got to call, you got to email, and you got to text. Whether that is you following up with prospects who already did a discovery call or came into your business and checked it out, whether that's following up with warm leads, or whether that's following up with colder and older leads that maybe opted in 3 months or 6 months, picking up the phone, calling with a framework. My favorite framework is called the 4 steps of selling. It's super simple to do. Step number 1 is you state the reason why you are calling. Step number 2 is you paint the picture. You are going to let them know about whatever the offer is and really sell it when you're painting the picture. Step number 3, you're going to create some urgency and have a call to action. And step number 4, you're going to close it. This is a very simple framework that you can use when you are reaching out to prospects. And then finally, this one requires the most sweat equity, but can produce the best returns, and that is face-to-face marketing. Whether it's setting up a booth or an exhibit at an event, whether it's doing webinars that are face-to-face digitally online, whether that's going to festivals. When you get face-to-face with your prospects, you're going to develop a better connection. And I always say that it first starts with the conversation. The conversation then has to move to a connection, and then we can move it to a conversion. So those are 7 different revenue generating activities that you can build in your business. And if you own a martial arts school, I wrote a book called The Best Known Dojo that really dives deep into each one of those 7 levels of marketing. Step number 3 is you gotta set yourself up for success. Cash flow comes from your calendar. And the best way to do this is to categorize all of the revenue generating activities that you're going to do in your business and plug them into your calendar. I like doing this by first theming my days. It's very difficult to multitask. It's very difficult to jump from one type of project or focus to another. And different activities that we do require different types of energy. So I like theming my days. For example, Monday is my meeting day. This is where I stack all of my meetings together. Tuesday and Thursday is my content creation, my creative day, my deep focus day. Wednesday is a training day. and Friday is what we call a culture day. And when I break it down and theme the days this way, it ensures that the type of energy that I have to bring to those activities match it. The second thing you should do is set your focus hours. So once you theme your days, you want to set the hours of the day where you have deep focus time, where there's no interruptions, there's no notifications that are going on. My recommendation is to just start with 1 hour a day. That's it. We're going to set the bar really low here. Pick a time, start with 1 hour a day, put it on the calendar, and ensure that during that hour, you are doing those revenue generating activities. This is a non-negotiable meeting that you have with yourself, and you got to ask yourself the question, does this affect the bottom line? Step number 4 is to calendarize these revenue generating activities and break it down into the daily activities, the weekly activities, and the monthly activities. So what might this look like? Well, you could commit on a day-to-day to put out one piece of content that speaks to your avatar. You could commit daily to make sure that you are following up with your warm prospects. On a weekly basis, maybe this looks like once a week, you are going to put some time aside to follow up with old leads or colder leads. On a monthly basis, maybe this looks like trying to obtain one client testimonial or case study, or push out one database reactivation email and text message campaign. You can even break this out quarterly, such as once a quarter, we're going to do a direct mail campaign, or once a quarter, we are going to attend an industry event. When you do this, when you calendarize these revenue generating activities on a daily, monthly, weekly, quarterly basis, you are going to create a vortex of activities. You're going to be connecting with more prospects via multiple channels. You're going to have new content coming out, case studies coming in, and you're ultimately going to gain more awareness and lead generation from these marketing efforts. This will allow you to become omnipresent in your prospects' world. If you enjoyed focusing on the fundamentals, please like and subscribe, and be sure to check out episode number 7, the Growth Ceiling Calculator, to learn where your business is going to cap out.